Unless you have more money than you know what to do with, you need to be measuring these influencer marketing stats. Otherwise, you're going to be flying in the dark and you're going to lose to your competitors who are able to do it more effectively than you. So we'll cover 10 key stats in this video. Don't worry, we'll go through the obvious ones quickly, what each stat means and how you can use it. I'm Aaron Jack. I've made over 7 figures with influencer marketing, founder of the Partner Up app. Let's get started. So the first 5 are going to be about influencer accounts, choosing people to work with before you reach out, before you spend time on them, and especially before you pay them. The first obvious ones are follower count. People with more followers are going to ask for more compensation, more money, but they also have more reach, usually. From there, you have engagement. Every account has an engagement number, usually number of interactions divided by number of followers. It can also be calculated as, let's say on an Instagram reel, number of views divided by number of followers, basically seeing how active that person's audience is and how they're performing relative to their follower count. So these two are the biggest, not necessarily because they correlate with how well your campaign is going to do, but they do correlate with how much the influencer is going to want to get paid. Now with these two numbers, the interesting thing is alone they don't mean that much. Here's what I mean. Many of the followers could actually be fake, especially somewhere like Instagram. And in fact, so can the engagements. You can buy likes. So if you're not looking at followers in conjunction with fake followers, which can be calculated with a platform like ours, Partner Up, because we use some AI, then you don't really know how many people are actually there. When it comes to engagement as well, the account engagement number can be misleading because a single account can, let's say, have a viral post, one that did 2 to 5 million views if it's a TikTok short, and that can bring the total engagement for the account up pretty high. So you're going to want to look at the median and not just the average. Because if the median is much lower, the chance your post is going to go viral is also lower. So the next key stat that ties in with this is growth. If the account's been around for 10 years, most of their followers came 5 years ago, then most of those people are not going to care anymore. They're not going to be actively engaging. And that influencer is still going to want to charge more for those zombie followers. And they might even have a full-on zombie account. This is very easy to see if you take a look at the recent posts specifically and you look at engagements there. Have they dropped off, especially relative to the size of the account? Very easy to see on YouTube, on TikTok. But again, Instagram, you got to be a little careful because now, number one, you can hide the engagements. And number two, you can buy them. The last account stat we're going to look at is the number of sponsored posts. Now, if you're a brand, there's a sweet spot for sponsored posts, not too few and not too many. If there's too few, they might not know how to promote products. They might not know how to sell effectively in a way that is still authentic. And there's a chance they're just going to take your product and never do anything with it. On the other hand, if they have too many, their audience is not necessarily going to trust them as much. They're not going to believe that they actually love any specific one product because they're seeing a sponsored post every other day. Here's something very important too. If you see sponsored posts from the same brand multiple times, that is a very good sign because it means the first one did well, either in terms of sales, things you can't see, in terms of traffic, engagements, and those are the things we're going to talk about next. But in summary, you have to be smart when looking at each one of these stats because together they create a complete picture of profile health. And believe me, some profiles out there are very sick. Okay, let's look at post stats. Very key if you're going to do a sponsored post with a person. And we're going to be using the context of if you do a sponsored post, what are the things you should look at? First, again, obvious one is the impressions and engagement. So impressions would be views on a reel or a short. Engagement would be number of likes, number of comments. This is the best way to just measure general sentiment. Are people resonating with it either positively or negatively? And it's important because algorithms will push more impressions to posts with better engagement. With the post stats, each one of them has a position in the funnel. That is, obviously you're starting with number of views and impressions, and then that carries through to are people clicking? Are people buying? And where are people dropping off? And if you're getting good impressions and good clicks, but people aren't buying, then you know where you're dropping off. So think of it as a funnel. Okay, the next one is going to be clicks. Often you're going to give out an affiliate link. You're going to give out a special discount code for that person. And it turns out clicks are not the best stat because depending on the platform, you're not going to get a lot of clicks. People don't look at the description of the YouTube video. People don't look at the caption of the Instagram post, but they will see the brand. They will see your website. And in the case of TikTok, there's actually a screen that kind of prevents you from leaving TikTok. So link clicks there are, well, they can be especially bad because they want you to stay on the site. That said, you will still get clicks, but it can be more useful in relative terms. That is, let's say you have 10 influencers, influencer number 5 got way more clicks than the other two, so they're obviously doing something right. So relative but absolute terms is the key there. And then if you also see a traffic spike when a given post goes up, that'll also give you an idea beyond just people using that link, because maybe they're typing your brand into Google, maybe they're typing the URL in the bar. You never really know. So you have to look at all of these things. Next one, ROI. You're giving out a discount code. Hopefully people are using it, and you can tie those sales back to a given creator if they have a unique code. The codes on average are better than the links. People will use them more, but they're still not perfect. You'll still get sales where people don't use the code. So it's still important to look at the relative stats. Okay, this person has 50% more than the others, so they're obviously doing pretty well. Conversions don't always happen instantly either. People might navigate to your site and then go away. So retargeting this traffic you're getting is quite important. We discuss that more in other videos. Consider subscribing. Now, beyond just the ROI, you want to be measuring EMV, earned media value. This is usually calculated by dividing your CPA, cost per 1,000 impressions, by your engagement rate. And you can pull that CPA from other traffic channels for a comparison. But in general, not enough people are comparing their influencer marketing CPA and ROI with their ads, because at the end of the day, it is just another paid traffic channel, so you have to treat it like one. In general, if your EMV is comparable with your cost per click on another channel, you're doing really, really well, especially because you get a trust premium from influencers you don't get with just ads, which people can have an adverse reaction to. And the final stat are the intangible pieces of the content. Is it a really good match with your brand aesthetics? Is it high production quality? Because if that's the case, you can easily repurpose it, especially if the stats are good too, into ads, into reposts on your own profile as examples for future influencers. So being that this is a creative thing, as appealing as just going based on the numbers is, you want to ask yourself, does this look sweet? Does this pop? Hopefully the other stats reflect that, but sometimes you can get a flop where it is still a good piece of content. Anyway, when you tie it all together and you're looking at these things at every point in the process, the profile stats when you're choosing people, seeing how your posts perform on all these different dimensions, and then using that data to circle back, find more people like that, create more content like that. That's the whole game. So I hope this helped. I hope you are looking at your stats, you're taking them seriously. And if you want more influencer marketing tips, stick around and subscribe. And by the way, we track all these stats for you in the Partner Up app. Currently, it's a Shopify app, but we are releasing the full-on web app for every brand very soon. So thanks for watching. See you in the next one, and hope you stick around. See you.